Hello friends, you're all welcome back to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Today we will be talking about the cost of living in Turkey. Precisely, we will concentrate for Sivas, the city Sivas, where I am right now. And I will compare Sivas and Istanbul. Istanbul is the major city, so I will compare the both of them. So that will be our topic today. Actually, I am making this video because of the request that I got in the past from the comment section. Some people sent a message asking for certain, talk about apartment, cost of living in Turkey. So they wanted something like this. So I decided I'm going to make it. I think one of them is Lydia Bulus. Yeah, I don't know who she is. And she said, darling, something like that. Okay, so Lydia, here is a video. I will be talking about apartment and every other thing that may come with apartment. So I want you to watch this video until the end to grab every information you want if you really want to watch this. Okay, so, and I equally want to say, in case you have forgotten to subscribe to my channel, please, I want you to use this opportunity to click on the red button down there below. Have you done that? Yes, click on it. And as well, like this video, share it with your friends and family members, and leave a comment down there in the comment section. And one more thing, you can click on the notification bell that will notify you anytime I upload any video. All right, thank you. In this video, I will give a detailed information about the cost of living in Turkey. Okay, so that's why I need you to watch this video until the end. All right. Now, before we go on, I want to tell you that the cost of living in Turkey depends on three factors. Number one factor is that it depends on the size of your family. If you have a family of 4, 3, or 5, that means you have to spend money for your children. Maybe you have a child of 16 years old downward to 10 years old or 5 years old. That means you will pay money for their education. You will tend to spend more money. So that's different from someone who is living alone, who is single. So that's the factor, number one factor. Now, number two factor is your lifestyle. If you are the kind of person that smokes a lot of cigarettes, then you will spend more. If you drink a lot of, drink alcohol, you will spend more. If you have a car, you will have to, fuel your car. And if as well you love going out, you love eating out, you love going to party, these are the things that will take a lot of your money. And the third factor is the region where you are residing. If you are in the eastern part of Turkey, it's cheaper than the western part of Turkey. And even the middle part of Turkey is cheaper than the western part of Turkey. So these are the factors that will really affect the cost of living here in Turkey. Now, let's start with the first thing. The first one is apartment. Now, talking about apartment, here in Turkey, they have different kinds of homes. They have 3+1, which is about, I think, 3-bedroom flat. They have 2+1. They have 1+1. Now, these houses all have some things that affects the cost of that very house, that very flat apartment. Now, every flat has heater, house heater. They have gas. They have facilities. All these things matters a lot about the cost of that very house, and as well the location of that very house. If it is in the city center, it tends to be more expensive than outside the city center. So these are the factors that you will be looking at in case of the cost of the house. But here in this city that I will be specifying, using, the city center is congested. The houses here in the city center are old, so those houses are cheaper. The new houses that are built, they are building out of the city center, they are more expensive. These are the differences. So here in the city center, maybe you will get a house of $209, which is about 1,500 or 1,600 liras. Now, generally, most houses everywhere in Turkey is from 1,500 to 5,000 or upwards. Depends the location. So, but here, like I said, it's about $209 for 3-bedroom flat. Now, in when you go to outside this city center, they have houses like more expensive, like $305 or $306. It's higher than here in the city center. So those houses are new buildings. They are like 2 years old, 3 years old. Here in the city center, the houses here are about 10 to 15-year old. Okay, so these are the differences that really affect the prices here. Now, talking about 1-bedroom flat, which is 1+1, here in the city center, you can have about $125 here in the city center, which is around 850 liras, yeah, or 900 Turkish liras. But out of the city center, you'll be having houses like $220, which is about 1,000 something Turkish liras here. So these are the differences when you are living out of the city center or in the city center. Now, if you move this to Istanbul, the case is different. In Istanbul, you have the city center more expensive than out of the city center. That's the case in Istanbul. So you have houses like $310 or more in the city center, and it depends as well the location. If you get a house in Beşiktaş, it is more expensive. If you get a house in Gulbag, Şişli, it is cheaper. If you get a house in Esenyurt, there are some old buildings in Esenyurt. In fact, they pay about 1,000 Turkish liras, which is around $190 or $185. So it is Esenyurt and Şişli side. So those areas, the houses are cheaper. But if you go to places like Beşiktaş, if you go to places that are quite expensive, Taksim area, these places, the houses are, on a high rise because of the number of tourists that are coming there. Foreigners are there, so the houses tend to be more expensive. And now let's move on to the 1+1 in Istanbul. I think in Istanbul, 1+1 is almost like 230 or 200 and, from 220 upwards, you get houses, 1+1 in Istanbul. They are so expensive. So in case you are looking for a house in Istanbul, please look for the area like Şişli, like Esenyurt. These are the places you can get houses cheaper, because if you go to some places that are more expensive, in fact, you can't meet up with that payment. But if you have the money, feel free, you can leave, or you can pay the money. And as well, the facilities, that they matters a lot. Some houses, the new houses, they have basketball court, they have swimming pool, they have canteen. There are so many things inside that apartment. That means you will pay more money for this kind of places. So if you really want that kind of house, then you have to have the money, so you will be able to meet up. All right, so that is it. Now, one more thing you should have in mind is that every apartment in Turkey, they have house cleaners, apartment cleaners. These apartment cleaners are in charge of cleaning the staircase, washing everywhere, taking out the trash from your door to outside. In fact, they are in charge of everything in that very apartment. So in a month, I think they pay, maybe you will pay for 100 liras, Turkish liras, or some apartment they pay 70, some apartment they pay 200. But here I pay about 120. So you have to calculate all these things, and that will give you the amount of money you will be paying every month. And one thing I have to remind you, please, before you move into any apartment in Turkey, make sure you sign house contract so you don't have any problem. When you get a house contract, it will even help you to, when you are applying for any resident permit or work permit, all these things will really help you in your application. So make sure you have your house contract. All these things I have said, I know some of you may be thinking, oh, how can I get a house? How can I be able to, get an agent that will help me to get a house? Please, you can check sahibinden.com. I think I'm going to leave the link there. You can check there and get a house. It's equally in English. Or take a walk on the street and you may find some shops or some offices where you will see emlak. Emlak in Turkish, in English it means real estate agent or house agent. These guys will help you to get a house. They have catalog of empty houses and they will help you. Okay, so make sure you follow these steps. Tell them what you want. They will give you all available information. Moving on to the next session, which is utility bill. Now, utility bill is flexible, not stable, whereas house rent is fixed. If you agree you will be paying $200 every month, it is fixed for 1 year. You will be paying this. But utility bill, which is water bill, electricity bill, they all depend on how you use them. So you pay what you use. That's the difference. And one more thing, any part of Turkey, wherever you find yourself, what you use in your house, that is what you pay. It doesn't matter anywhere you are in Turkey. Now let's talk about electricity bill. Here I pay about $10 to $15 every month. Actually, it is so high for me, whereas for some people it is nothing. It's so cheap because in a month, 70, some houses they pay about 150, 200 and above like that. It depends how you use your light. And some months when I am not at home, maybe I'm going to work every day, in those months I tend not to even pay any bill for electricity because I don't use any electricity at home. Now for water bill, which the bill is like this, you tend to pay cheaper because here water is cheaper. I pay like 30 Turkish to 50 Turkish liras every month, which is about $4 or $5, I think. It's so cheap. And sometimes I have it even cheaper because I don't use so much water. But for some people, they even have up to 100 every month because they use lots of water at home. So try to use less water. If you go to the toilet, if you go to take a shower, reduce the amount of water you take. Just take a shower within short minutes and you go out immediately. Okay. And the next one is internet bill. Here I use Tuk Telecom. It's one of the biggest telecom companies that they have here. Now their bills are, they come like this every month. I choose to have it like this. Some people, they send it to their email. I do receive emails as well, and like this, that's how their bill come. And every month I pay 100 Turkish liras, which is around $13. $1 here is I think 7.8, or 7.6 liras. $1, 7.6 liras. So in a month I pay 100 Turkish liras, that is $13. Now here it is fixed everywhere. Any part of Turkey you go, you pay the same amount of money. So I use Tuk Telecom here, whereas some people use Vodafone or Turkcell or even Tuk Telecom. There are other companies as well. So these are the big telecommunication that they have here that you can use their internet. And this price that I said, 100 Turkish liras, if you use fast internet, it may be higher than that. You pay about 125 or 130 Turkish liras. So it depends which platform or which packet you are using. So that's for internet bill. The next bill that I pay is my telephone line. If you are here, they made it so easy for you. I think it's even better than my country, Nigeria. Here, you have to buy packet. In that packet, you have 500 minutes call time, 1000 SMS, and maybe 5 gigabytes or 10 gigabytes. It depends the platform now or the telecommunication. So every month, this is what you will pay. Now, if you compare it to my country, it's quite different. The system is so different. So here it makes it easier. So here every month I pay about 50 Turkish liras, which is about maybe $7 to $8 every month. So that's another bill that I pay. And the last bill that I pay, which is for utility, is sports channel. Now that sports channel, it's like in Nigeria we call it Super Sport. Now that's sports channel that I use. I pay about 80 Turkish liras, which is about $10 or $11 in total. So that's the another bill that I pay. I have to watch football. I love watching football. So you pay. These are all the things I pay every month: utility and house rent. Moving on to the next section, which is transportation. Here, transportation is quite easier in terms of you moving from one place to another, using the bus, using the metro, the train. You have a city card. In that city card, you just load up, your money on it, and you can now use it to pay for your transportation. With that city card, you can use it for bus, train, so many things here. Now, here, if you join, if you enter a bus, you will pay about 3.5 Turkish liras here in this city where I am. But in Istanbul, it's 5 Turkish liras. So the equivalent in dollar is about 50 cents or something like that. So if you enter a bus, you will pay 3.5, that is 3 liras, 50 kurush. You go wherever you go and come back, that's 7 Turkish liras. Now in Istanbul, if you go and come back, that's 10 Turkish liras. So in a month, if you go out every day and come back, that means you may be spending about $30 or up to $40 in a month in terms of moving out, using the city bus to go wherever you want to go. And if you are taking a taxi, it's a different thing. The taxi meter here starts from 4 Turkish liras, whereas in Istanbul, I think it's about 5 Turkish liras. Immediately they kick off their car, the meter start to read 4 Turkish liras, like that. And when you go, maybe even where you're going is not so far. For example, for a stone throw, you say, oh, this is where I'm going. You must pay a certain amount of money, which is 13 Turkish liras. So be very sure where you're going. If you know that place, you can walk to that place. Just take a walk. But if you can't walk, if it is far away, you can now take a taxi. So maybe let me give a rough sketch. 10 minutes taxi here, you will be getting about 30 Turkish liras, which is roughly like $3 or $4. Okay, 10 minutes drive. So that's how it is here. Equally, if you have a car, just know that you have to fuel your car. You have to add petrol in your car. So roughly, some people who owns car here, they pay almost 1,000 Turkish liras in a month. I don't really know if it is true, but some pay more than that. It depends how where you go and how you use your car. You fill up your tank and you use your car. Here, 1 liter is 6 to 7 Turkish liras, which is about $1. So if you fuel your car, if you fuel your tank, you have to, pay a lot of money for that. So that's all about transportation. Going on to the next section, which is talking about groceries, vegetables, beverages, drinks, all these things, toiletries. I wouldn't take time, I wouldn't spend so much time trying to make a list on this because of the video. So I will make it shorter. Roughly here, I spend about $100 to $150 in a month. Sometimes I spend less than that in a month. It depends how I consume food. So on average, this is what I spend. But some people, they spend more than this. Some people spend even lesser than what I just said. So $100 in a month, which is almost 700 Turkish liras in a month. Or sometimes I spend 500 Turkish liras in a month. So it depends. It's not really fixed, Now, moving on to the last, second to the last one, which is other things. If you are the kind of person that you always love gymming, going to the gym, you make sure you have your 100 Turkish liras to pay for gym membership. here in this very city, Sivas. But in Istanbul, it's about 150 to 200 Turkish liras in a month, which is roughly about $20. And as well for haircut, you see my hair is so grown now. I didn't cut my hair for almost a month plus now. Here haircut is about 30 Turkish liras, which is about $4 now for the guys. For the girls, the ladies, I don't know how much they pay in a month. I am not a lady, I don't have a girlfriend, so I wouldn't tell how much they spend in a month. So in case you are the kind of person that you make your hair, you're from Africa, okay, you can get the equipment, buy the things that you need, so you'll be able to do it at home. Or there are some African hair salons in Istanbul where you can go there and do such, make your hair. I think maybe they take 50 Turkish liras or more. I don't really know how much they take. Okay, so that's for other things. Now, for those people who have children, if you have a child, here in a month, in a year, one academic year, you may be paying almost 20,000 Turkish liras. This is for the private schools. For the private schools. Some private schools, they take 11,000 Turkish liras, which is roughly about $3,000 in a year for one academic year. Okay, so if you have a child and you want to take your child to a private school, this is what you should be expecting to pay. You may be paying more than this or less than this, depending the school you go to. Now, in government schools, they pay lesser. I think about 5,000 Turkish liras or about 7,000 Turkish liras. So it is cheaper in government schools, and they even give you lots of discounts. So that's the difference between the government schools and the private schools. Let's move to the last section, which is residency and health insurance. Here, you must renew your resident permit if you are not working. Every year you renew your resident permit and you must pay for your health insurance. So roughly in a year, you will be spending maybe close to $1,000 plus, $1,000 plus for your resident permit, or even less than that. Okay, 6,000 Turkish liras, I think, or 5,000 Turkish liras, I think, in a year, sorry. So that is the amount of money you will use for renewing your resident permit. There could be other ways to do it, but this is generally what you should be expecting for your resident permit and health insurance if you really want to stay here in Turkey. But if you are working for a company, that company will do your work permit, so you will not be thinking about renewing your resident permit. The company will be the one to renew your work permit, and they will pay for your health insurance and any other tax. So that bill will not be on you. So like me, I don't have that bill on me. So every year I don't have that problem of renewing my work permit or renewing my health insurance. So that's the benefit of you working here. Now, I think that will bring us to the end of this very video. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video to this point. In case you have forgotten to subscribe to my channel, please, I want you to, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for doing that, and share this video with your friends and family members. Leave a comment on the comment section and I will follow you back. I'll get back to you. So see you in my next video. Bye for now.